Right? අපි අද මේ දවසේ පංචශීලයේ අරගෙන සූදානම් වෙන්නේ Brisbane වල පළවෙනි වතාවට ධම්මරක්කිත හාමුදුරුවෝ රිට්‍රීට් එකක් කරන්න මේ මාසෙ. ඉතින් සන්තෝෂයි ඒක ටිකක් ඇනිවර්සරි පාටි එකක් වගේ එකක්. 2021 වෙසක් පොයේට තමයි මම අහන්නේ. ඒකට තුන්වෙනි ඇනිවර්සරි එකේ පාටි එක තමයි මේක. සන්තෝෂයි මේ වගේ පාටි එකක් මේ වගේ පිළිසක් නම් වීව පිළිබඳ විශේෂයෙන් Brisbane වල අපි මේක ලෑස්ති කරලා තිබ්බේ you'll have to excuse us Steve ලෑස්ති කරලා තිබ්බේ 18 වෙනිදා පටන් ගන්නද කොහොම හරි මොන හේතුවක් නිසා හරි ඒක අපේ වාසියට කරුණා. ඉතින් ඒකේ මල්පල ගැන්විලා තියෙන මොහොත. ඉතින් මේ මොහොතේ අපි මේ වෙලාව ගන්න හදන්නේ මෙතන ඉන්න අයට මූලික උපදෙස් මතක් කරලා දෙන්න. ඉතින් මම කැමති දැනගන්න ආධුනිකයෝ කවමදාවත් භාවනාව කරලා නැති ඉදිරියක් ඉන්නවද කියලා දැනගන්න. ඔක්කොම භාවනා කරලා තියෙනවා. ඒක මට වැඩි බොහොම පහසුයි. එහෙමනම් ලොකු හාමුදුරන්ගේ රිට්‍රීට් වලට ගියාම කොහොමද දන්නවා. ඒගොල්ලන්ට කොහොමද මූලික උපදෙස් හම්බෙලා තියෙනවා. ඒ හින්දා අපි බලමු. right. Zoom එකට ඇහෙනවද දැන්?
ඇහෙනවා ස්වාමීන් වහන්සේ. ඇහෙනවා ස්වාමීන්
හරි. අපිට දැන් ඇහෙනවා වැඩි. හොඳයි. මම එන පොඩ්ඩක් මතක් කිරීමක් කරා. මේ මොකද්ද කරන්නේ කියලා. අපි මේ වැඩමුළුවේ මම අහගෙන අදහස් කරනවා භාවනා වැඩමුළුවක් කියලා. ඉතින් අපි සාමාන්‍යයෙන් මේක භාවනා වැඩමුළුවක් කියනකට වැඩිය සති වැඩමුළුවක් කියන පැත්තට තමයි මේක නැඹුරු වෙන්නේ. හරි. ඉතින් භාවනා වැඩමුළුවක් කියන එක අපි පාවිච්චි කරන පොදු වචනේ. ඒ පොදු වචනේ ගත්තාම මම ස්ටීව්ට එක්ක පොඩ්ඩක් කතා කරුවට කමක් නැති ඉංග්‍රීසියෙන්. මම මේ ඉංග්‍රීසියෙන් කියන්නම්. එතකොට at least basic instructions ටික ඉංග්‍රීසියෙන් කියන්නම්. That will be helpful to even Steve. So we say this is a meditation or bhavana program. So when we say bhavana, the word bhavana is somewhat confused, somewhat misunderstood, especially in the Buddhist countries. And I realized that when I went to Sri Lanka, and when I asked, what do you mean by bhavana? The answers were not really up to the mark. And everyone was saying bhavana means anapanasati, or keeping the mindfulness, or keeping the attention in the object, or getting concentrated, or getting serenity. They were the answers that I was receiving when I asked what is meditation. Right? Only in 3 places I asked. Meditation means, bhavana means cultivation, growing. And that didn't come from anybody. We are stuck in the techniques as bhavana. So you will have, the first thing I will have to remind you is that bhavana does not mean a technique. Bhavana means cultivate or grow. So then the next question comes, what do we grow? What do we cultivate? Then nobody knew again. Why do these things? Why do you do sitting and walking or anything else as bhavana? Why they do? again the answers were concentration and focus and this and that. All sorts of answers were there. But they were not knowing what they really grew. Right? So for this audience, you of course may be aware, since you have been with Loku Hamaduru, and some of you are in my group, Samahita group, so they know what we really grow. What we are growing is the mindfulness. Satiya tamai wadanne. Bhavana kiyala kiyanne wadanawa කියන එක. අපි වඩන්න සතිය. To cultivate, to grow mindfulness, we have two techniques. So the technique of walking, what it simply does is cultivate your mindfulness. The technique of sitting is simply cultivating your mind. So we don't, by sitting and by walking, we are not going to do the walking perfect or sitting perfect. We are not going to achieve anything other than mindfulness. So then the question is, what is mindfulness? So the meaning of mindfulness, the basic meaning of mindfulness is the choiceless awareness. Awareness, when we say choiceless awareness, again in one place when I said it is choiceless awareness, they were questioning, are you saying that we are not aware? Answer is yes, we are aware. But that is not the awareness that the Blessed One is talking about. The awareness we have is the external world. We don't have the awareness of our inner world. So the Blessed One is talking about the awareness of inner world. Right? When you say inner world, there are three main components in the inner world. It should be you, or it should be I am, it should be now, it should be here. If it is not I am, if it is not now, if it is not here, then it is extravagant. And you have that awareness. That awareness is extending even up to billions of galaxies. That is what the scientists are doing. But the noble quest is coming inside and exploring your inner space, or I would say, imploring the inner space, if there is a word like that. And that is mindfulness, coming inside. Right? So to bring you, and since we have not practiced these things, since we don't know what it is, in order to build that skill, then we are using these techniques. Technique of walking is bringing your attention to the lower part. Technique of sitting is bringing your attention to the upper part. In that manner, you bring your attention means the mental process. The mental process that is that was wandering in the past, mental process that was wandering in the future, mental process that was wandering in the other galaxies, starting from your neighbor or starting from your family itself. It is going to the other galaxies, and that mental process is brought to the physical process when you observe your walk, when you observe your breathing. And that is mindfulness. So therefore, these are just two techniques to cultivate your mindfulness. Any questions up to that point before I go any further? No question. Right. So we know now what mindfulness is. It is choiceless awareness of here now I am. And I may ask a question now, and not hopefully from those who are in Samahita group, from others. Of these four words, awareness of here now I am, which is the most important word? Just one word, and why? Awareness is the most important word. And why awareness? Yes, all the other three have been there ever since we existed. I never went anywhere. Now never went anywhere. Here never went anywhere. Throughout our samsara. But only thing what was lacking was the awareness. So therefore the word awareness, being aware is more important to something which is already there. Right? So therefore the awareness is the key in the Buddha's teaching. That is what he did 2600 years ago on a day like tomorrow. And that is what we are going to do from now on. Right? Bringing our awareness to here now and right. Okay. I wanted to give some detailed explanation about mindful walking and mindful sitting. But I'm not going to do that because everyone has done the practice. There are no absolute newcomers here. So therefore, I'm not going to give any explanation about how you walk mindfully and how you sit mindfully. But I'll be asking you questions. Or before that, do you require any explanation? Do you have any questions relating to my walking and mindful sitting? Because they are the two techniques that we will be using to cultivate mindfulness. In mindful walking, what we will have to do is we will be selecting a path to walk, and that path we should be able to take about 30 to 35 steps, and it has to be flat ground, and it is ideal if you walk on the natural floor, but I don't think in this weather you can do that. And it is ideal to walk barefooted. Again, I don't think it is possible. Once you select the path, you stand at the beginning of the path and be aware that you are standing. How you become aware that you are standing is just see how you feel the sole of the feet. If you feel both the soles of the feet, then you know you are standing and not sitting, not sleeping, not walking, right? So after that awareness, you hold your hands either by the side or folded in front or folded at the back, right? And you don't swing your arms in order to avoid the attention coming to the upper part of the body. And then cast your eyes down about meter and a half or 2 meters ahead of you. Don't look at infinity. Don't look at your toes as well. Just 1.5 meters or 2 meters. And then with a smiling face, right? With a smiling heart, you start walking. Just walk without anything. Just walk 2 or 3 laps and then get used to the walking track. So once you are used to the walking track, you will have a question where I am going to pay the attention, which part of walking I will see, because walking is a massive task, massive function, massive process, right? It carries the upper body always on one leg. That is walking, right? So for that, there are a lot of manipulations, a lot of regulations, a lot of balancing is happening in the process, right? So you will have a question, where am I going to now see? Where do I have my mindfulness? So therefore, for beginners, what we instruct is to have your attention to the sole of the feet. The reason why we take the sole of the feet is because it has a very identifiable contact, right? So since the contact is so identifiable, tangible, we take the sole of the feet, right? And when you lift, since you are standing, to bring the attention, when you lift, you observe how you lift. Shall we do together so that we can do it? Everyone can get up and start. And when you can stand and hold your hands the way I just mentioned, and we will take few steps and see. You can take your attention and see how you lift the foot. So what you will have to do is, you can keep walking forward now, see how you lift it, and see how you place it. The manner in which the leg is lifted and the manner in which it is placed, the sole of the feet. And then you can go back to your place, and when you are familiar with that, the next thing that you can do is you can keep walking. You can keep walking. You can see what sort of sensation you get when you place the foot and when you lift the foot. Keep walking, see how you place it and how you lift it. And at the same time, you see what sensation you have when you place it and what happens to that sensation when you lift it. Okay, right. You can take your seat again. So this is the key to be mindful of the walking process. You bring the attention to the sole of the feet, and with these 4 basic things. What are the 4 basic things? How you place it and what sensation. And how you lift it, what happens to that sensation. In that manner, if you can bring your attention to the sole of the feet, your mental process is now in the body. Right? And when you keep on doing that, now we will be walking sometimes 30 minutes, 45 minutes, 1 hour. When you keep on doing that for a long time, then you get other details of the walking. Not only just the manner in which it is kept, there are a lot of other things happening. I'm not going to tell them now, because if I tell them now, you will be looking for those. They're given the key. Now it is up to you to open the door and go inside and see what else is happening in this walking. That most of you, since you have been practicing, you are aware. But for others, those who are not practiced much, you will be able to get more and more and more information about how we carry the upper body on one leg. Right? Okay. The next thing is, you may not be able to give attention to the sole of the feet, because we have been doing so many things, and all of a sudden I come and ask you to walk and observe the sole of the feet. Mind will be saying how, may not be able to bring the attention. So if that happens, there is another technique to facilitate it. There what we do is, we ask the practitioner to label, to bring the attention to the leg, bring the attention to the feet. Label in the sense, there are many ways of labeling. Very simple labeling is to bring the attention to the foot. When the right foot goes, you keep labeling right. And when the left, you don't see now how it is lifted and how it is placed and what sensations and all that, you forget about for the time being. If you can't bring the attention, you simply label it. Right, left, right, left. When you keep on doing that for some time, you may feel, yes, now when I'm saying right, my attention is with the right foot. Now when I'm saying left, my attention is with the left. Once you feel that, and if you feel that now you are convenient, then you can now start seeing the detail, how it is placed and what sensation. You can keep labeling if you want, and if it is difficult, you can drop that as well. Then after that, after you bring the attention to the leg, then you start seeing the details I just mentioned. So what this labeling does is, it brings the wandering mind to the leg, so that your verbal actions will be in line with the physical action. Since you are labeling, the mental actions also will be in line with the verbal and physical action. So that is what it does, so that there is no room, there is no space for the mind to wander. Okay. The next thing I want to say is, when you practice mindfulness in this manner, or mindful walking in this manner, what happens if the mind wanders? You can bring the attention to the leg is fine. But does this happen every time? It will not happen every time. Your attention may go for other things, like things that you see, visual, and sounds, or maybe aches and pains, or maybe even thoughts. When those things happen, what do you do? And this is very, very, very important to understand whether we are on the side of the Buddha or pre-Buddha era. Right? So if your attention goes to something else while walking, or maybe even while sitting, what you will have to do is, since you know that it is already gone, say for example, thoughts, right? You bring your attention back to the walking, to the feet, right? And after that, if you can keep on observing the information of your walking, then it's fine. But if that doesn't happen, you bring your attention, mind doesn't stay, mind once again wanders to something. For the second time also, you bring it back and see whether it will go with the walk. And again, if it goes with the walking, then it's fine, you take the information. But if it doesn't, for the third time, if it wanders, what you will do is, for the third time also, you try bringing it back. And for the fourth time it goes, then it is giving you a message. What is the message it is giving is, your mind cannot be with the walk. Now what do you do? In that case, after trying twice or thrice to bring the attention back to the walking, if the mind is not listening to you, you are not going to fight with your mind. What we are cultivating is awareness. So that the message that the wandering mind gives you is that now is that whatever thing that is happening to you. I am is that particular thing that is happening to you. Here is that particular thing that is happening to you. Say, for example, thoughts. You will be getting thoughts all the time. You can't bring the attention to the leg. So, I am is that thought now. Here is that thought now. And now is that thought. So, you are not going to fight with yourself. Instead, you observe that. Instead of observing the leg, you observe these thoughts and get the details of the thoughts. Blessed One mentioned that very clearly in Core Foundations of Mindfulness. He says, not just mindfulness, he says, keep the mindfulness to the core, which means keep the mindfulness in the driving seat, right? If you don't do that, then you will be fighting with it. So this is why I said at the very beginning, what we are cultivating is awareness, not the skill to be with the leg or the breath. That is before Buddha. After Buddha, he said it is awareness. So simply accept the fact that your mind is wandering without fighting. Does it make sense? This is the only thing that you will learn. This is the only thing that you will accept. If you accept, the practicing mindfulness is a game, is a joyful thing. Otherwise, we will be those who are practicing mindfulness or those who are doing so-called bhavana, they are fighting themselves. Blessed One simply says, let anything happen, you simply observe it. right? And I was mentioning that you will have to take details, maybe walking or maybe sitting. I'm sorry, maybe walking or maybe when your mind wanders. The details are very important for you to confirm yourself that you were mindful. If you don't have details, you don't know what was happening in that particular point in time. If you have details, then you know you were mindful. That is why you are able to give these details. And since you have details, you can communicate it to somebody else as well. Right? So therefore, picking up details is imperative in the practice. That teaches you the new skill of mindfulness. Otherwise, you just walk and say, my walking was good. What is good? Were you mindful? Yes. What are the details? Then run away. Because they are not picked up what was happening then and there. Make sense? Right. When it comes to sitting, also you you can sit in a posture, but what the Blessed One says is sit in the lotus posture. And if you can't sit in the lotus posture, you can sit in the half lotus posture, like the Buddha statue there. And in the lotus posture, you will have both the soles of the feet upward. And if you can't even sit like that, you can sit in any whatever comfortable posture, there is no problem. And what is important is to have your spinal should be straight, and then neck should be parallel to and then you can hold your hands in whatever convenient way. Usually it is on your lap, right hand on the left. Or some people keep like this, some people keep like this. There's no rule on those things. Do what convenient to you, keeping the spinal upright. And then you gently shut your eyes and bring the attention to the sitting posture. Bring the attention to the sitting posture. Anything that is prominent, you can take the attention. Sometimes when you are sitting, the most prominent thing will be, for some people, pain, or some people it may be the cold weather. For some people it may be the clothes touching the skin. For some people, maybe if you are wrapped up too much, it will be the heat. So we don't bother what it is. Whatever it is, you take the attention to whatever that is there. For most of the people, or even if you start your attention with something else, after some time, your attention may come to your breath, because when your eyes are closed and when you are not moving, the mind is a bit upset. Mind wants to ensure that you are not dead. So you will therefore slowly start, mind will slowly start telling you that you are alive, and how it can that you are alive is by making the breath prominent. I will put it that way. There are other reasons as well. So once the breath is prominent, there is no need for you to panic. Just see where you feel the breath. If you feel it in the nostril, well and good. If you feel it in the chest, no problem. For some people, you may feel it in the abdomen, no problem. Wherever you naturally feel it, there is no rule again. And there are some books who are saying that it has to be uparimukam, which means at the entrance of the nostril. There is nothing as such as uparimukam. What the four foundations of mindfulness says is parimukam. Parimukam means keeping the mindfulness to the fore. So therefore, if you keep the mindfulness to the fore, where you feel the breath is immaterial. So you pick a point where you feel the breath most prominent and have the attention there and keep observing your in-breath and out-breath continuously, constantly, preparing patiently until the bell goes. And there again, when you observe the breath, as we were observing the sole of the feet, you see how you know that this is in breath. How you know that this is out? The manner. And then what sensation that you have in the in breath, what sensation that you have in the out breath. So the same two informations I'm giving you, they are the key to go to the other information, right? So when you have the attention in that manner to the breath, and breath is much more vital to our existence because breath is equal to life. So therefore, by observing our breath, what we simply do is we get connected with our life. We observe our life. There is no one who is without breath having a life. So far as I know, at least so far as human beings are. So therefore, it's very vital, and it has tremendous amount of information when you get closer to the breath. But the beginning point is observe the manner, observe the sensation. And then when you get close to the breath, other information will come depending on your awareness. And pick all those information, and then we can ask questions, we can discuss, we can write reports. Then you will know that you have been mindful. I will know when you provide the report that you have been. And again, if you have any disturbance, it's the same technique. If the mind wanders, if it goes to sounds, or if it goes to pain, or if it goes to thoughts, again you try three, four times to bring the attention back to the breath, back to the respiration. And if it is obedient, that's fine. You keep your attention with your breath and take the details. But if it doesn't, after attempting thrice, and if it is so stubborn, if it keeps going out, you just salute, say three, yes sir, 3 bags full, and get to observation of the new thing. New I am, new here, new now. Then your mindfulness continues changing. So what we will have to ensure is that whether awareness is continuing. All right, so that's the, I don't know whether it's brief or not. That's the explanation. Any questions, especially on that transition? Most of us have the idea that having the attention all the time with the primary object is mindfulness. That is a myth. Having it is fine, good. Not having is not bad. It is even better. Because your awareness continues. All right. Since again I'm asking, any questions? Right. So since there are no questions, I will point out two things. When we provide the report, you will, in your report, try to give as much as possible these observations. What you observe, what information you got, that is important. I don't mind whatever it is. Maybe the object or the challenges to the object, and whatever you did when those challenges came. And those are the information that I'm looking for in the report. That's number one, so far as the report is concerned. Number two, in your report, now we are doing walking and sitting 4 or 5 times a day. Don't give everything. Just give a summary for the day, or whatever walking or whatever sitting that you want. Don't say my first was this, second was this, third was this, fourth was this. If you see a pattern, if you see a trend, you can write that trend, but not each walking and each sitting separate, because it will take a lot of time. The other thing is separate both walking and sitting. And if you have any question, then at the end of the report, you can ask the question. And also, it is better to give an overall view of the practice. How you feel, whether you felt horrible, or whether you were agitated, or calm, whatever that you felt, can also be given. And in addition to that, since we are doing this full time, try to be mindful with other activities as well. We don't do here a lot of things. Only thing we do is we walk, we sit, we eat, we sleep, we urinate and defecate. Those are the basic activities we are doing. Try to be mindful with all other activities as well, as much as possible. Try to bring your attention. So that is the third technique, being mindful on the day-to-day activities. Yes, that's about reporting. And the most important thing for me in the practice, I don't know whether you walk or whether you sit, the most important for me in the retreat is being silent. You must maintain the noble side. Right? From now on, I think Bimal has mentioned about noble silence. Especially because this is one family. Everyone knows the other. Right? So therefore, there is a greater chance of chit-chatting. And so we will come into an agreement that we are enemies for 5 days. Right? And you just be with yourself. And avoid talking as much as, not avoid, don't talk. There is no avoiding, don't talk, simple as that. Be with yourself. And why I'm saying is, that is the key for the seclusion. We are going to dig a tunnel from the body to the mind. So in the middle of the body and the mind, is this what you call the culprit of verbal action, and that culprit never allows you to get the connection between the two. So if you want to dig the tunnel properly to the mind, you must shut this culprit. Right? So that is why the noble silence is important. If your verbal actions are not controlled and monitored, then you can practice, but your practice will be very slow. And although you're walking and sitting and the practice doesn't go well, if you keep silent, you will admire that after the 5th day. When you go home, you will realize what a peaceful 5 days it was. Practice has not gone well, but that will be a gift for you. So that is the gift, at least I'm trying to give in this retreat. I'm dead sure that you will go much further than that, because we are doing this on the day Buddha enlightened. Right? So we have that power even after 2,600 years. Right. So any question for the last time? We introduced the basics of mindfulness. So I think you know what it is and all that. So not much worried about it. And any questions if someone is having? Okay. So if there are no questions, we will wind up the basic introduction session. Blessings of the Triple Gem. Everyone, Sarada.